In the last video we configured Samba, and Samba is okay. But let's review what we did. Enter cat etc samba smb.conf. This is the Samba configuration file. When you use YaST to configure something, it actually reads the configuration file in etc when it loads, and then after you have made your changes, it saves them back to the file. And this is something I really like about YaST. If you have another Linux distribution that you need to configure, you can use the YaST generated configuration files as reference. But if you already know how to configure stuff, you can directly use the conf files in etc and not even go into YaST. Back to the file. First, it has the global configuration options. These are global options that configure globally the Samba server. And we can see the workgroup we entered. We can see, what else can we see? Well, we didn't actually change, the NetBIOS name. So these are actually the only two things we configured in this file. Everything else is pretty much the default. Then we have the shares configurations. When you want to create a new share in Samba, you make those brackets and enter the name of the share you want to create. Our share is webdev, so we have webdev in brackets. We have the comment we entered, which we can delete, we don't need it. We have the inherit access control access control lists no, because we are not using them. We have the path, we have read only set to no, and guessed OK. Read only allows us to write to the path, and guessed OK says that anybody on the network can enter and view the share. And right now some security lights should be going off. We have shared the www folder and given everybody to write to modify its contents. So let's test this again as we did in the last video. We're going to go into network. Here it is, vSUS. If we go into Windows Network and we go into workgroup, vSUS is in that workgroup, so we enter it. We have webdev. We're going to open it. And let's try again to create a folder. Denied. Let's try a document and denied. Let's go see why this is. We want to cd into the srv folder, and we're going to ls al. Here are the permissions for the files in the folder. The www folder is owned by root and the root group, and it has read, write, and execute permissions for the root user, read and execute for the root group, and read and execute for everybody else. But it doesn't have write for anybody else. When we use Samba to access this resource as a guest, the system treats us as nobody. So let's give ourselves some write permissions. We're going to chmod other, which is the last 3 digits. This is other as in everybody else, plus w as in write, and www as in the folder we want to chmod. Enter. Now ls al again, and we can see that now other has write permissions. We're going to go back to the share and create a folder. Test, and we enter it, and we're going to create an empty file. and we're going to call it test. Okay. Now we can cd into the www folder and lsal everything in it. We can see that the test folder is owned by nobody from the nobody group. If we cd into test lsal again, we can see that the test file we made is again property of nobody. We can go back into the share. Since we're the owners, we can delete it. We don't need it, so we're going to do that now. But we're not owners of htdocs, so we can't delete it. Show more details. Permission denied. Bear in mind that the files aren't actually ours. They belong to everybody who has network access to the server. So if you're using YaST and you create a file as nobody, everybody who has access to this Samba share and enters it as a guest has access to nobody's files. Always keep security in mind. If you like this video and you're not too busy, why not rate, share, or subscribe? If you don't like it, constructive criticism is always welcome in the comment section.